Well-known northern style artist is a trinket artist. In fact, is that your own design in your shirt? Can you stand up and model it for the people, please? When people think of Northwest Coast art, they often think of this kind of design. And it's a beautiful design. It shows a bear, and inside the bear is another animal, the bear cub maybe. Okay. All right, spirit as well. And so, and if you look right here, right over there, is that a bear moon?
Yeah.
That's a bear design?
Head and paws.
The paws and the big ears on the top of the head, that red one in the circle right there. Again, a beautiful, powerful design. But the way those designs are made are a lot different than we make our designs down here. And I'm going to share with you a little bit. I hope those guys don't start singing any louder. Because I'll have to talk louder. I try not to use a microphone, because, especially when I do storytelling, because I don't want people to think you need a microphone to talk. So, Salish art, the art of the tribe of this area, very, very different than the northern art, very different than the West Coast art, like the Nuchano people or the Makah people, very different because the coast is so big and so long. All the tribes within it are diverse and different. And so, the Salish art. I'm going to tell you a very quick belief of the Salish people, because oftentimes beliefs and stories become artwork. You try to make them visible so other people can see what you're talking about. And so for the Salish people, and I think most of the tribal people of the coast, there's a belief about salmon. Salmon. Ubur, salmon. We call them salmon people, because the belief is, a very profound and deep belief, that salmon are not just a fish that swim in the water that we catch and we eat. Salmon are beings like us, human beings like us, who live in villages under the ocean. And at certain times of the year, they put on salmon skin and become salmon. They transform from people into salmon. And so the stories reflect this, the ceremonies reflect this, the beliefs, everything reflects that idea, the salmon people. I'm going to show you a piece of artwork, a very, very old piece of Salish artwork. It's in a museum. It's a couple hundred years old. It's a round piece of wood about the size of a small plate. And it has a hole in the middle. And you put a stick through this hole, and this round piece of wood becomes a wheel. It's a spinning wheel. It's called a spindle whorl in Old English. Spindle whorl. That's not an Indian word. That's an Old English word. Spindle meaning stick, and whorl meaning wheel, spindle whorl. It's a spinning wheel. And the weavers use this spinning wheel to spin their wool into yarn. It's a complex process, but they need a spinning wheel. And because this spinning wheel is made out of wood, they carve designs on it. Personal designs or family designs. And so on this spindle whorl, this round piece of wood with a hole in the middle, you're going to see a design. Alright? As soon as I do everything right. Hold on a second. A victim of technology. The mouth is not a shape, it's just a line. And a line is not a shape, so we don't count the mouth. But we do find all these crescents all over this design. And I'll draw as many as I can. Alright. And then there's one last shape. So we have the circle, the crescent, and the third shape is right here. There's one here. There's one in the middle right here. There's one right here. There's a little one hidden right here. And I want you to look at this. It has three sides, so it looks like a triangle, but it is not a triangle. And why isn't it a triangle? Why do you think? Why isn't it? It has three sides, like a triangle, but it's not a triangle. What do I mean by that? Curve. It has curved sides, and a triangle has straight sides, so we can't call it a triangle. We call it a trigon, three-sided shape, and it goes like this. Curve, curve, curve. Curve, 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 curve. So I want you to make three curve-sided triangles. When I was first learning to do this, I had to go to myself. Curve, 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 curve. I had to remember the curved sides. And they can be either way, convex or concave. They can go, but they have to be a curved-sided triangle.
So is that by the eyes then, the human eyes?
Those are the same thing.
You're a little bit ahead of me, but that's very good. All right, she sees. She sees. That is good. That's the good thing. The eyes, you you can see trigons on the side of the eyes. And I'm going to show you how to make a Salish eye in a few minutes. Very good. And then there's some hidden, and they're hidden for a reason. So, if I did this right, you should see that this design is made up of nothing but circles and crescents and trigons. That's all it is. Alright? Made up of just those shapes, circles, crescents, and trigons. One thing that's very important to notice, because the northern art, and Odin will make it more clear, and he might correct me if I'm wrong, is you're taking two basic shapes, the ovoid and the U shape, and you're hooking them together kind of like a puzzle. And they make beautiful designs that way. They hook their shapes together, right? They connect. Notice that these shapes I'm talking about, they don't touch each other. They do not touch each other, and that's for a very important reason we're going to talk about now, all right? So, on this design then, can you see a human face transforming into salmon? Can you do that? All right. And can you see circles and crescents and trigons? So now that's the easy part. That's the simple part. Recognizing the shapes and trying to figure out how they work in the story or work in the design. All right? Any questions so far? Three shapes: circles, crescents, trigons. Since I think we have a little time, I think these three shapes are related to each other. And I'm going to show you why. It wasn't just by accident the shapes were chosen to work together. If you make one circle, that's one circle, right? To make a crescent, you go like this. Circle, and you overlap it with another circle to make that crescent. See that crescent there? They're overlapping circles. You need two circles to do that. And then if I take one circle and hook it together with two circles and hook it together with three circles, what is my shape right in here? It's a trigon. So I believe that these designs are based on circles or arcs of circles or parts of circles. The circle is the basis of, I believe, of Salish art. So if you remember that, helped make the designs a little bit easier. All right?
Where cedar bark templates used historically?
Probably.
Any evidence that they found?
They'd be pretty worn out. But I don't know. Have they found old northern cedar bark templates? How old would they be?
Pre-contact.
So hundreds of years old? Okay.
When you say templates, you mean cutouts in cedar bark or
Cut out in the shape of a circle or ovoid.
in the cedar bark itself?
Yeah, cedar bark.
That was used then to lay on the wood. Okay.
Used to build a design around it, starting with the eye first.
Yeah. I haven't seen any Salish ones. We approach our designs differently, but I think there's some, carving is carving and making shapes is making shapes, so probably you would have found those kind of things. I'm going to show you another old spindle world. See, I had to go back and learn these designs. A lot of people have never seen them before, so we had to go back and find them. We had to go back and, thank you, and we had to go back and figure them out. And there are some artists like Susan Point, who's from Vancouver area, Squamish Indian. She's a very well-known artist. We have some local artists like Sean Peterson and Al Charles Jr. They've been studying this kind of art, and myself, trying to figure out how do these designs work, how do we make our old designs. Because so many of us went to college and we learned the northern style, and we learned how beautiful and powerful it is, but we also figured out finally it's not our art. We've been trying to learn that. So I'm going to show you another spindle whorl design, another circular piece of wood with a hole in the middle, another design that has a hole in the middle, but it's this one. Well, I'll just show it to you. You tell me what you see. So what can you see in this design? Can you see a human being, a whole human being in the middle?
Yes.
Right here? Notice what they did with the hole in the middle. What's right here in your body? Your heart. This design is in my heart. This story is in my heart. And notice, I call this the Salish squat. Because to fit a person into a circle, they have to be squatting down. And when I show this to kids, I remind them that there are many cultures in the world that did not have chairs. And so to sit on the ground was natural, and this pose here is very natural for many cultures, But in the Western world, kids look at it, that's funny, they're sitting on the ground, they're squatting down. So again, I call it the same